Hi guys, George here from Zero Period Productions, and today I'm showcasing a brand new Skyrim mod called End Times by grasscid. The main goal of this mod is to create a literal endgame for Skyrim, giving you the chance to fail the main quest and quite literally lose the game. End Times gives you an in-game timer, counting down to when Alduin, the World Eater, will quite literally eat the world. The mod is perfect for players looking for more urgency in their game, or looking to create more of a challenge for themselves. End Times is listed on the Nexus as an immersion mod, and was inspired by Darkest Dungeon's Stygian and Blood Moon difficulty, where you're given a set number of weeks to beat the game before it's game over. Similar mechanics have been used in other games, such as Fallout 1 and a couple of the Dead Rising games as well. By giving the player an end date, it puts a bit more pressure on them, and encourages the hero to really undertake their journey in a timely fashion. Should you fail to defeat Alduin in time, you'll be able to witness the destruction of the world for yourself, and know that you could have avoided all of this. But hey, maybe Parthenax was right, and it really was time for this world to end and for another to begin. Maybe you decided you didn't want to get in the way of that. Either way, after the destruction plays out, you'll have to reload an earlier save and try to defeat him in time, or start a brand new game if you didn't make enough saves throughout your playthrough. In this new cinematic ending, you'll see a supersized Alduin fly overhead, consuming the world, and see the world fade to white as you're greeted with a game over message. While the mod is best installed on a new save, it does work on existing save files. Should you install the mod and play on a character that has already defeated Alduin, the mod will disable its functionality on its own. And while the Skyrim script extender is not required for this, I think it's highly recommended for End Times. With SKSE installed, you have full customization options through the mod configuration menu, including the ability to extend or shorten your time to defeat Alduin, which works really well for anyone installing this mod mid-playthrough. The MCM also shows how many days you've played so far, how many days you have remaining, as well as options to enable and disable the cinematic ending, and even show the countdown in-game after set intervals of time. The mod also gives you a brand new spell called Doomsday Clock, which will allow you to see how many days you have left before the world ends. By default, the mod gives you 1 year from the start of Helgen's destruction to defeat Alduin, which gives players a decent amount of time to finish the main questline. If anything, this is a very fair amount of time and doesn't force the player to rush too much. In a full year in-game, you would easily be able to tackle at least a couple of the guilds and probably even the Civil War questline too, and still have a little bit of time to spare. If anything, an in-game year might be too lenient for some players, and having SKSE installed means you can reduce the time until Alduin's attack and put more of a timer on yourself. Through the MCM, you also have the option to lock yourself out from making any changes to the time you have left, which is intended to stop players who might be tempted to change it, but know that they don't want to cheat themselves in the end, and don't trust themselves to not change it on their own. While I'm not sure if the mod author has any plans for expanding this mod, I see some really great potential to flesh End Times out a little bit more. The mod author could introduce a short quest, or a new character to tell us about the deadline. Maybe a scholar from the College of Winterhold was able to discern how long we had until Alduin was at full strength. Or even add a small quest where you find the remains of a scholar who had done his own research on the matter. Finding his book could show the in-game date of when the world would end, which could then in turn be updated when adjusting the number of days remaining through the MCM. I would also like to see a slightly longer version of the cinematic end if possible, as it is a little bit short. I'm not saying it has to be a full minute even, just slightly longer. According to the mod author, End Times should be compatible with just about every mod, including mods like Alternate Start. I mean, hey, just because you might not know that you're the Dragonborn doesn't mean that Alduin is just going to sit around and wait for you to find out. The only mods that should create any conflicts would be ones that manipulate the vanilla game days past variable, but even to the mod author's knowledge, there aren't any mods that do. If anything, there really shouldn't be any mods touching a global variable like that. An interesting idea would be to combine this mod with Timing is Everything, a mod which allows you to set level requirements for certain quests and events to trigger in-game, such as DLCs, Daedric quests, and even the frequency of dragon attacks. While Timing is Everything bases its requirements off of levels, instead of days like End Times, you could tweak those requirements to be doable during your playthrough. Through the use of the mod configuration menu, you can make these playthroughs as easy or as hard as you want, and create a much more urgent main questline as you race against the clock to face off against Alduin. I think this is a really cool idea for a mod, and can be used to help keep a new playthrough on track, It's so easy to get sidetracked and distracted with side quests, but with End Times you can force yourself to focus on your main task more, level more efficiently, and gear up for your final showdown with Alduin in Sovngarde. The mod is available on PC, both for Skyrim Legendary and Skyrim Special Edition. If you like the mod, make sure to endorse it on the Nexus. I know I did. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.